We're on.
All right. Hello and welcome, you guys. Welcome to the Break Room for Coaches. My name is Jessica Riverson from Permission to Charge, and my co-host, Monica Pelayo. So excited to have you guys here. We have a really special guest. And this lab show, it's twice a month, you guys. It's on the second and fourth, right? Second and fourth Mondays. And it's 10 a.m. Pacific. It's like, what time is it for you, Monica? Because you're in Spain.
7 p.m. Paris.
7 p.m. Okay. So we just want to welcome you guys. This is really a place for, hey, Sherry, this is a place for coaches to really just talk about the intersection of business and spirituality and talk about things that you don't always get to talk about. There's really not many places where we can just go besides a Facebook group, but actually have live conversations. So we have a really cool guest. And before Monica introduces her, I would love it if you guys would go ahead and tweet this out. So there's a little button where it says share the last 30 seconds. So if you guys would all just say, what are we going to say, you guys? I'm live on Blab. Join me, or I don't know if you guys aren't live, if you guys aren't running the show. What do we want to say? Let's say.
Today what we're going to talk about. So today we're going to talk about upping. I don't know if that would be a word, but upping our fame and reputation.
Why don't you guys put up your fame, money, and reputation? Join me, something like that. And that way all your followers can also join us and know about this show that we're doing today. And then if you guys would go ahead and follow each other, follow Monica, follow me, follow Karen, follow Sherry Anderson, Sonia, and just go ahead and tweet this out, share it with others, and follow us, and then we'll get started. You also, while the show is going on, you can give props. So if you like our topic, you can click those yellow hands and give us props too. So I want to welcome Amanda, Sherry, Mr. Wonderful. Who else is on here? We've got Sonia. So why don't you go ahead and introduce our special guest, and we'll get started because I know we've got a great topic today.
I know, I'm super excited because last week Jess and me were talking about this whole thing about visibility, and we were talking about a few of our clients and more your clients, but also my clients. They talk about that they were having such a hard time to put themselves out there, right? And there was this whole thing about feeling afraid that maybe they could be judged or whatever, right? And sometimes we carry this thing about reputation, or something can go wrong, or we have these insecurity stuff. So I thought about my dear friend, and she is such a dear friend to me, Karen Rauch, and she's a best-selling author of the book Move Your Stuff, Change Your Life. And it is a best-selling book, and it's just life-changing, and more because it's so simple. Feng Shui, for me, it can get so complicated, and she's a person that puts it such in an easy way to follow. And I think for me, one of the gifts that she gives me, besides all her knowledge and wisdom, is the gift of laughter. I mean, every time I talk to her, it could be a very stressful moment, but she's a person that makes me laugh. And I love that she walks the walk, she talks the talk, and she's here to help us to talk about this stuff. So she said, well, what do you want to, and I told her, the part of visibility and how we feel. And she's like, well, let's focus on, our fame and reputation section in our office and our homes. And maybe I could
it's going to be good.
Yeah. And I can help you guys out. And, of course, we want to get the money down. And she's like, these things can really help if you do it with good intention. So I thought this would be, I'm so hot. I'm sorry, you guys. So So this time we could, and if you can invite friends, or you guys can ask questions live, and we could go ahead and give you a seat and ask questions to Karen.
So we're going to bring her on now?
We're going to bring her on. This is her first time on Blab. So
welcome.
Because this is really new for her. So Karen, there's a section. Where is it, Jessica, where you call in?
There's an open seat. So just click, like, I think it says call in.
Yeah, click call in, and then I'll get you in.
Yeah.
Oh, she did do it. So awesome. Okay, you could do this. Looks like it's coming in, so where's she? Karen.
Okay, so we see a black screen right now.
Yeah. So
it might still be trying to.
Due to network error, make sure your connection isn't blocked by a firewall.
One thing, Karen, you cannot have Skype on. If you have Skype on your computer, make sure that's completely turned off and you're logged out of it completely.
I have Skype. Okay, so make sure your Skype off. Make sure your video's on. What does it say?
So connection to a firewall means that her antivirus is blocking potentially.
Okay, let's try it one more time.
Yay!
Oh,
yes! Awesome. Welcome,
Hi,
Karen.
how are
Nice
you? I've got the screen so forward that I'm going to have to put my reading glasses on to see you clearly. I mean, my little camera's right in my face here. Hey, how are you?
Good. We're so happy you're here. And we've been so excited, Jessica and me, since we knew you were coming. And we have tons of questions. And I know you heard a little bit about, what's going on and what we've been talking about, our clients and in the coaching industry. One of the hardest things at the beginning when we start our business, it's being visible, right? And because of all the things we're, kind of carrying our past or whatever. And we wanted to reinforce that part in us. Yes, I know you have. Do you have any questions before we dive into that, or do you want to kind of open with
me any questions you want? I've literally pulled everything. Like if you were to feng shui your desk, I've got all stuff around here, and I thought I'd use the book as like a little diagram. So, and I've even got it in Spanish for you.
Oh my God, that's great. So I think you should just dive right in and, we're ready for.
All right. Well, when it comes to getting your fame and reputation out there, I mean, if you look at the little book, the little person on the pedestal, she's got stars all around her. So it's like, if you want to be seen in the best light, possibly get awards, promotions, things like that, the fame and reputation area of the Bagua in feng shui is the place to go. So feng shui is a method of mindfully arranging your environment so that it supports you versus you having to suck up and give all your energy to everybody else to make your life work. So this is when life is just, you're in the flow, life's going great. And that fame and reputation area seems to be a good conversation starter about what we're talking about today. So if you were to come into your house, you would go to the the far back center area of your house. Or
when you walk into your house?
Mm-hmm. Let's just say a room. Walk into your office. So just walk into your office and pretend there's a tic-tac-toe, 9 squares divided up. Go to the far back center square. And that's the fame and reputation area. So my door is in front of me here. And so as you can see, what's behind me, I've got some little fiery looking things right there because the fire element works great in that center back area of your room. And also behind me are all the little things that accolades and diplomas and certificates of completion. And if you don't have any, symbols is one of the 9 traditional cures in feng shui. So you can print out, coach of the century, put it in a little frame, stick it back there.
Make your own kind of
Yeah, it's all about intention. And
Oh,
so,
that's cool.
yeah, so a symbol of where you want to go. So you're just setting yourself up to feel like, they always say dress for the part you want, not for the job you want. Not, my son's in acting. So dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So we're trying to create the space that a successful coach would have. A little card table over the corner with the sewing on one corner and the craft table, stuff on the other. It's just not conducive to somebody who's like got a desk, ready to receive all the projects and jobs that are coming their way.
I like that phrase a lot, ready to receive. So if you're wanting to take on new clients, you're setting up your desk and your area to be able to receive that.
You got to have the room, if you don't have space, there's no place for it to show up. So it's like having your house full. And that's the clutter conversation that comes along with feng shui all the time. And, if your space is full, things might get close to you, but they will just sort of fade away. And we want it to come in. So, we want to make sure that it's easy to get to your office, easy to get to your front door, all the way out to the street. So if it's confusing to get to your address, if it's confusing to get to your front door, once they're in, is it confusing to get to your office? Is it confusing to get to your desk, hard to get to your desk? Or there's a makeshift desk. Maybe your dining room table by day is the desk, and by night, it's the dining room table. And it's just not conducive to a full-time job because it's a part-time desk. Does that make sense? So we're just trying to really create the space.
This is like metaphorical, right? Because like a lot of us do our coaching online. So even if someone's not coming physically to your office, it's just the sort of like the energy of like,
yes.
Are you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So when the world went to laptops at Starbucks, and everybody's mobile and they're like, I don't have a desk. I just got my laptop and I go to Starbucks and I just roam around. I think the economy did a little warble right there, and we're kind of warbling around because of the impermanence of these spaces to hold the energy for your job. And, a lot of coaches, I think, are moms, and, they just have other, quote, important things to do, like my kids are number one or whatever. And I see spaces that totally reflect that. And they're like, sure, I'm a coach. I'm like, well, where? If I clear off all the crayons and all the stuff, and yeah, here's my space. And I'm like, well, it's just not holding that sense of importance and showing that you have pride and you have carved out the space. Space and time and money are all connected. They say time is money, space is money, space is time. So if you don't have the space in your daytimer, if you don't have the space on your desk, physical space, then it's really hard to keep those clients rolling in.
Mm-hmm. I think that's such a good thing. One of the things that I was doing a call with a bunch of clients, and I was talking to them about, if you want more consultations or discovery sessions, as we call it, you actually have to go into your online calendar and open up all those spots, even if you're a brand new coach, or maybe you're not new, but you don't have as many clients. You actually have to open up those spots on your calendar so that you say, okay, I want to have 5 consults this week, but there's no time on your calendar that's open. It's an energetic and kind of a mindset thing. The other really cool thing that I do is when I'm ready for a certain number of clients, I get a really nice card, and then I put the dollar amount of the program on there. So like, this is ready for the next person I sign up, and it's sitting right here. And I buy these all the time, and then I send them out all the time. So that seems to be kind of like what you're saying, like you're totally ready to receive new clients.
And I have other people that have said, I've got a little reverb here. They've said, oh, I'm in business now. And I'm like, well, do you have an open checking account for this business? Well, as soon as I get the first check, then I'll open the checking account. So you have to have the space already. You have to get that checking account open, ready to receive the money. and don't wait until you get the money, because now you're trapped. You're in this trapped cycle.
So people that
Yeah,
have
it's
an
all about
office,
systems.
when you walk in the door, and then how do you figure out what is the back left, or you said center left, or how do you figure it out?
All right, I'll hold up the little book here. So along the bottom here is the door. So you just walk in, and you can go over here to the left or over here to the right. And so, you know, this tic-tac-toe is kind of like the back red is the fame and reputation. So the back left is the prosperity area. You can see the money sign, it's purple, and it's yay, we like that. Over here is relationships and love. So if you're working on, you know, trying to not be single or trying to ramp up your love life, that would be the way to go. The center is green, family. That's about the past and your ancestors. Center is about health. The right is about creativity and children. Your future, getting it done, destination, you know, destiny. So we're trying to get, you know, a lot of people have trouble. They start a lot of projects, but they never finish them. That would be a problem over here when you walk into your office and go middle back on the right. It's hard for me to.
Will you tell us the name of the book so I can go grab a link for that? Because I think people are going to want to buy this book. Is it on Amazon?
So it's called, yeah, it's called Move Your Stuff, Change Your Life.
And we'll go ahead and put it on our Facebook,
That's what it looks like in English.
Okay, yeah, we'll put it in the Facebook group and people can grab it there.
Perfect. So yeah, so that's how you get on, you know, into your space, and you can overlay this bagua, this little map, onto anything that has boundaries. You can overlay it on your bed, your desk, the room, the house, the whole lot, the region, the planet, you know, solar system. I mean, it goes all the way out. So I just wanted to show you a few things. I just scooted everything forward on my desk. So on my
Karen, let me ask you a question real quick, because here in Spain, every entrance, like, or every room, house, or whatever, as soon as you open the door, or in, like my office, you open the door and there's a window. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really put anything there, because that's like you used to call it the diarrhea feng shui or something like that. But like if that's, you can explain that a little bit, but if that's the reputation, whatever, and you can't put anything out there, is that
right
where you can put?
So remember, I know a lot of people get hung up and they have to have something right in this corner and right along this wall and in this exact corner, and oh, there's a window there. Remember, you have the whole 1/9 of the space. So it's not just running along the walls, running along the corner of the room. You could put something, you know, way in here, right there for prosperity. It doesn't have to be right there in the corner. So yeah, if there's a window directly across from your door, we're trying to get the energy to come into the house and stay there. It's like you're trying to gather as much energy into your little money sack as you can. You know, consider your house or your room, your office as your little money sack. And so you don't want a hole in the bottom. So as much money as you're stuffing in the front end, it's falling out the back. And that's what happens when there is a big window directly in line with the door of your front door or your office door or your bedroom door. I've seen a lot of relationships go down the tubes because the view has become the main showpiece of the bedroom outside. So it's not in the bedroom. And therefore the energy is just deflated. There's nothing going on in there. So in the bedroom, I would want to attract the eye towards the bed. In this office, I want to attract the eye towards me. And without saying a word, you can see I've got all kinds of backup behind me that's saying she knows her stuff because, you know, she's got her back covered. So, you know, a wall behind you is the way to go. So sitting with a solid wall behind you, now you've got your back, somebody's got your back. If you have a window directly behind your desk, then you're in a vulnerable position. You don't know what's going on behind you. And things like, I didn't see that one coming, is a normal thing that people say when they have a window behind them. I didn't know that was going on behind my back, kind of a thing, or she stabbed me in the back, something like that. So your placement of your furniture is important, and having the consistency of literal space is also important as well. So we want to make sure that you are perceived and you feel like this is when you were talking about visibility and feeling like a fraud or feeling like I don't deserve, whatever all that, conversation is. Perhaps your room is set up to be that way. If you're knocking the kids' toys off to try to get some work done, then you're now dissing mommy time to do this. And now there's the, cup half empty on the mom, whatever you're doing, it's not enough kind of a thing. I should be working more. I should be playing with the kids more, whatever.
And Karen,
so we're trying to get,
and this is, for me, this is like so important to know, because now things are a little bit different. People don't usually come to your office. Usually this right here that you're looking at is our office. And I can see your square is very, like you have your thing and whatever. Can we, let me ask this. Can we work with this as a feng shui office? Like what, people are.
The square that people see if we're doing live. That's a good question.
Yeah, like can we, like have, our fame, like what you do, and then, like whatever it is that we want to reinforce, could it be in this square and would it work, or does it have to be in the rest of it? Because maybe this is like beautiful and everything's shit, right? So I get that we do need to feel it, like you said, we need to feel it, but this part is what people are going to watch. Like, let's say like right now, like there might not be a lot of live people, but people will see this video a lot because it's on YouTube, it's on all these places, so they get to see it. So this is what the new business style is, or whatever.
That's a great question.
So what do you think?
Well, when you go to the, you go to a dentist for the first time, or a doctor, you walk in and you're like, okay, he went there. All right, that's cool. He didn't go to the University of, I don't know where. I don't want to diss any particular country or anything, but you just sort of subliminally are taking in the environment. I just had somebody tell me, oh my God, I went to my accountant's office and it was so piled up with stuff, I didn't want to drop off my taxes because I thought it would get lost. Now that person is reading the space, and that person that's sitting there with the piles all around them does not know why he's not getting new business. Mm-hmm. It's the space telling the story. And that person made a judgment about that person without saying one word. I'm afraid to give my taxes there. So I think it really must tell the story. I would prefer, something of strength behind you. I like the living object that you have, Jessica, because living objects are one of the 9 traditional cures. It looks young, fresh, alive, supple, and so living objects are, once again, one of the 9 traditional cures. So that is an energy enhancer. Let me give you the 9. Let me think if I can rattle them off here really quick. Color. So changing the color of something obviously changes something, you just feel different in a space. Light, the lighting level. Sorry, I literally took my light box down 2 days ago because I'm packing up to move to Florida. And here comes this call and I completely forgot. So I'm a little poorly lit today. And then sound, have you ever been at the mall where they flick the radio off because it's time to close? It's like shopping, and then silence. You're like, oh, I got it, time to go. So just the quality of sound can change the energy. Moving object. So if you want to get something moving in your prosperity area, maybe to get the money moving along. So a little clock with a second hand, or a little fan, or just something moving, that would be helpful. A little aquarium or something like that. And then still or weighted objects, which is the opposite of moving objects. If you're like in a 30-story office building and you're way up top and you just feel ungrounded and your head's in the clouds, you would want a weighted or still object to feel like you're grounded. And electrically powered objects. So I've got my copy machine back here in my prosperity corner, and that's always I try to copy. I actually did a client where she is a She helps pick the decor when people buy new houses. She works for the developer. And so she's like, I want more clients like this guy that just spent $350,000 on the interiors of his new house that he just bought. She goes, I'm tired of these $60,000. I don't get much commission or whatever. And so she goes, I want more like that. And so I took his file and I put it on the copy machine. So we're symbolically copying him. And she says, she's so busy now. She's like, she goes, I got to take that away from him while I'm so overwhelmed with all the big giant jobs that she's got coming.
So she copied.
So
what did she copy?
Because you got kind of
well, yeah, our intention was that we wanted more clients like that one, not these little troublesome clients that just spend only $50,000. She wanted them to spend $350,000 so she could get a bigger commission. So we put him on the copy machine, and she was like, that stupid idea really worked.
That's really cool.
So things like that. And then the last two are symbols, like I said, symbol of living, symbol of accomplished, right? And then other. I had a client who had a red baseball cap, looks like just a red baseball cap to me, but to her, she was a writer. And she knew that when she had a deadline and she had to get it done, she put that red baseball cap on. And when she has the red baseball cap on, she's doing nothing but typing. She can't get up. She can't do anything until the deadline has been met. Looked like a red baseball cap to me. So it just is something that means something just to you, might change your energy only. I had somebody that bought a pair of Oprah Winfrey shoes on an auction or something, and they didn't even fit her. But whenever life was feeling down, she'd get them out of the closet, she'd stick her little feet in Oprah shoes, and she's like, yeah, I can do it, So if you've got just a symbol that changes your energy on a dime like that, then that's considered other. So yeah, let me see.
Karen, but what I was saying is, like, can we feng shui just what people are watching here? Well,
I mean, I think you could. I don't know if it would be busy or distracting, but perhaps you can take this color pattern, because it doesn't have to be seen to work. Maybe you can take this color pattern and maybe put it, behind your chair there, Monica, or somewhere in the space where it's just literally, in this layout. There we go. I'm now feng shui.
like red here,
yeah,
and
right,
purple, and kind of.
Yeah, you could use the colors.
Kind of like the gay flag,
Well, I think Karen's already doing it. Like, she has the flower in the back, and then she's got her, all your accolades. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Like little plant over there in prosperity. My little point. So according to, things are looking blurry. I better not move my camera. So those things back there, pointy objects in the red, don't they look like fiery? They look like little sparks of fire, right? They're pointing up, and they are orangey red. And so I wanted the fire element behind me. So as far as the 5 elements are concerned in feng shui, water would be in front of you. That's why a lot of Chinese restaurants have, aquariums near the front door, because you want to be looking out towards the water. If you have the ocean or something behind you, you're kind of like sitting backwards, and that might be where you're in trouble a little bit, or a lake or something like that, or a river. And then the fire is behind you. So fire it up, stars, sun, I have a vase of sunflowers that I have. It's a sunflower vase that I have in the fame and reputation area of my house. And I'm using those sun-shaped flowers as the fire. There's some candles over there as well, but there's my little candle for the fame and reputation area of my desk. Doesn't have to be lit. I just turned it off. I just blew it out earlier. So yeah, adding fire element in that fame and reputation area. So center back. If you have a fireplace in the center back area of your house, you're rocking it, So things like that.
So how would we do feng shui on our desk to attract more clients?
Right.
Like, how do you set up your
money and clients, because you could get clients.
Yeah,
right. So over in my front, so I'm just going to be going around with Boggle here. So it's like, I'm going to turn it like this. So front, left is, I've got my blue Post-it notes are always sitting there. I'm a Post-it note-aholic. So I've got my blue Post-it notes in there. front left, closest to me left. And then I also keep copies of all my books. These are, all my books that I've written. I keep them right underneath that area. I have a little shelf that I keep them right underneath there. So those are my books, and that's in the skills and knowledge and wisdom area. So I wrote these, so that's my skill. And the color is blue. And then over here in the family area, I cut off this pretty palm tree, and I have that in my family area because it's governed by the element of wood. And so I like wood stuff there. Wood element gets the party started. If you can't even figure out how to get started, you need wood element over on the left side, halfway back. And then I just happen to have this little essential oil called Abundance. So I have that in my prosperity area just because I'm using that as the symbol. And water feeds the wood there. And then, of course, you saw my candle in Fame and Reputation. I've got my business cards, and it's also in a red little handy dandy thing there. And since wood fuels the fire, I'm giving you the rock, paper, scissors story of the 5 elements as well. Somebody gave me this little piece of wood that had breathe on it, which I thought was really cool. So I'm like, where am I going to put that? I needed to put it where wood element is. Wood element is also in the prosperity area as well, but I have it right in front of me because wood fuels the fire. Now I've got some wood to make that fire really go. And then over here in my love and relationship area, as you can see, that's all the way back here. So I'm turning it like this on my desk, so it's far back over here on the right. I've got 2 little stones that say love on them. I wanted a pair because I don't want to be alone. Pairs, matching pairs of items work great over there if you're looking for a relationship. And then in my creativity and children, here's me and my son in Chicago, and round and white things work great there as well. So when I saw this little round white thing, it's got a picture of my son in it and me. So boom, of course, that's going in my creativity and children area. And then Chapter 6 of my book, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't read it, it's my number 1 chapter, because this one cure I get more success stories off of this one cure more than all the rest of the cures combined in the rest of the book, the helpful people box. So the closest to me
what is that
area. So it's a silver box that kind of like how you're doing it. I like your little metallic-y type cards. If you would put them right where your flowers are there, if that's your desk, closest to you on the right, then you would place in here your requests. So you can say it as if, thank you for the perfect babysitter for my kids so I can kick butt in my coaching business. Or, thank you for the 10 clients per week that consistently come into my life. Or,
So you put that in it's like a request box, and you put it on the right side.
And you know why this works so well? Just like I was talking about the desk, it's dedicated space. I don't put just any old thing in there. I know this is only for my helpful people requests. And it's just like the dedicated desk, just like the dedicated bedroom for relationship building, just like the dining room table dedicated for dining. If you can carve out, or for those people that are looking for relationships, if you have 2 nightstands, one is yours and one is not yours. It is dedicated space holding the space for that future mate of yours. Don't fill up both nightstands, because that's like no room for that person, right? And then, I made a copy of what's taped under my desk, because the center area is governed by the wood or the earth element. And so I tape a mountain under my desk.
What is it?
The earth element. It's a picture of a mountain.
What is it?
Because
because
the center area of the Bhagavad is governed by the earth element. And so I put a big mountain there. Another thing, if you do want to put like something strong behind you, like a mountain, if you don't have a good sturdy wall, maybe you're in a cubicle somewhere for some reason, or or there's just not a bunch of solidness behind you, you know, those mountains behind you are a good choice to put if you want to put a piece of art behind you, a nice solid mountain that's like, you know, impenetrable solidness behind you. Nobody's sneaking up behind you. You want that mountain behind you looking out at the flow of life, and you can grab that water in front of you. So that's a little bit of talk about that.
What if you have a window behind you?
If you have a window behind you, I don't have any red tape with me here, but you know what red tape is, or red ribbon, or the color red, fingernail polish, paint, I don't care what it is. The color red does two things in feng shui. It stops energy, just like a stop sign here in the US, stop, and it also activates. So if you're like sleepy and you need to get fired up, see the fire back there? Red works great on that. And if you have a window behind you and you're like, oh no, I can't, my backing is just not, it's very weak. You can draw a red line, maybe behind the valance or behind the mold, on top of the molding where nobody will see it. And you can do that with the intention of, all right, energy, you can be swirling around outside, but when you come to this window, you're not coming through to hit me in the back. You are stopping at that red line. So that's one of the ritual type cures, traditional cures that you would use to stop energy from hitting you in the back. Sometimes I'm doing a how to empower yourself in a cubicle talk tomorrow at a corporation, and they're all in cubicles and they're all hating it, which is, it's forcing your employees to be in a very subservient position where there's that door into their little cubicle behind them. People can kind of see right over the wall because it's kind of a half of a wall. People hate that. They feel very not empowered because they're not in that CEO position. Big wall behind them. Come in, sit down, talk to me. It's not, you know, it's like, who's back there, right? So I tell them to put a red sweater or a red jacket on the back of their chair, which looks like it's just there waiting for a chilly day to happen and you're going to put it on, but it's really your feng shui cure to stop that from hitting you in the back. So it's a simple little red sweater type thing that can make the difference. So it doesn't have to be funky or tchotchke or look Chinesey or anything else. We try to come up with solutions that are aesthetic, that can do the job from a traditional feng shui, perspective, I guess I'd say.
So if you have a small desk like I do, and I have like a big Mac, so it's kind of like covers almost my whole desk. So I have a small desk, but so this idea of putting pictures underneath, could it work with everything? Like
you can just take this pattern. Actually, I don't know where it is in the book. Oh, it's right here, page. Page. I forget to put my glasses on. No wonder I'm blind. All right, page 158. I've got the little pattern drawn out here because I was talking about how to feng shui you while you're driving in the car, because there's a lot of sales reps and people that call me and they're in their car all the time. They're like, my car is my office. So I said, well, get that little colored bagua there, right there. And it's not very, but it's basically just making like a little daisy like this and stick it under your desk in the right pattern. So it would be like you're taking it just like that and sticking it right under your desk with the red farthest away from you and the black closest to you.
I was gonna go get my book, but it's all the way in my room. So
she's ready to go right now.
Let's talk more about the receiving clients thing, because I think that's really fascinating. Can you talk a little bit about, like earlier in the show, you talked about if you're wanting to bring on more clients, but you don't have a dedicated work area, like you're, part-time, you use the desk or the table for work, and part-time you use it for your kids or for eating meals. And so then that sort of says to the universe, this is a part-time business. So if you're wanting to attract high-end clients, then we need to have a dedicated work area, set up our desk in the right way. And then what about clutter? How does that all affect the money, the fame, the reputation?
Clutter is my nemesis because it is the opposite. I just, here's the little line: space equals opportunity. So if you don't, if your cup is full, if your cup is full, it's just going to roll off the edge and roll away. You have to have the room inside your desk, your office, your house. And I have people that are in overwhelm that can come from clutter, and they feel like life is passing them by, or generally the phrase that they use is stuck. I listen to people's language. They talk to me for 15, 20 minutes. I know pretty much what's in their house. I was just somewhere yesterday, and she was talking about her rheumatoid arthritis, and she was like, she felt like I had snuck in her bedroom, you know, because I was like, oh, you've got one of those Sleep Number beds with the motor in it, and you've got the, you know, I was just naming all this stuff, and she's like, how do you know all this? And I'm like, because you've got that, and that. So I've seen it, you know, if you go to thousands of people's homes, just like the accountant that has all the, you know, the taxes stacked up too high, and you're like, you know what, you know, he's either in overwhelm or he's, you know, not getting too many new clients because he's so stuffed with the existing ones. He's probably overweight as well, and blah blah. I can go on about his health as well. But
can you talk more about how space equals opportunity? Like, how does that work?
Right. So if you don't have the room for whatever, you're not going, you know, if you don't have the room in your closet to jam any more new stuff in there, you know, you're now frustrated trying to find the you know, you literally don't know you have 32 black dresses in there because it's so crammed in. You always grab the one as your go-to dress, and the other 11 are just taking up valuable space. And isn't it funny how once you clear that out, all of a sudden a few new pieces come in there that you love, you know? So, you know, obviously the new tidy book, you know, by Marie Kondo, that little hot book about the magic of tidying up, has certainly helped my business a lot because people are starting to get it. And yeah, we want space. So if you are cluttered, you are stopping yourself. If you know, if you eat too much food, your body, you know, it slows things down. So if you don't want to be in this sluggish, stuck feeling way, you have to have the space for it, and you have to honor it. It's like, you know, don't just, I'm just going to throw that there. You know, that is my space. Space is not nothing. Space is not lack. It's not, I don't have. Space is infinite potential. I mean, I cannot, you know, if I could just crack the whip on this, it's just infinite potential. So when I go, do I want this thing more than infinite potential? And no, you know, hold it up against your dream. A lot of people are hanging on to their clutter because they're not having this forward thinkingness to it. So if you say, I am determined to get 30 new clients this year that are, you know, $10,000 plus clients or whatever. And so where's the space for them? And, you know, like, as God is my witness, that shelf will never have a thing on it because that's for my 30, you know, you just have to literally mentally carve out the space. Mm-hmm. And just like I was talking about the nightstands in the bedroom, you know, if you got both nightstands full and you're looking for a partner, you have now squished that opportunity from happening because where's the room?
I have a specific question of a client that I have. Well, two clients, but one is she's a coach, and she's kind of well known, and well, not kind of, like, she's well known, and she gets a lot of clients and whatever. But lately, she's noticed that because her clients are on a payment plan or whatever, that at the end, all these people owe her money. Like, she's getting the money, she knows how to make money and all that stuff, but like tons of people are not paying her. So she's like, well, what can I do? You know, it's like, I'm doing, you know, I, you know, do the offer, I put the product, I'm in integrity, all the stuff. It's just like, what's happening? Like, what it is that I can do. So that's one of the questions that I was asked to ask.
I mean, she might have, you know, this area of her life, of her space, of her room, of her house clogged up where there's no room. She might also have
you mean the fame and reputation area?
Actually, I would say the prosperity area. I mean, she's getting some money, but she's not, but people are always owing her. I mean, yeah, if I was like her, you know, all my accounts receivables are paid in a timely manner, you know, is put in her helpful people box, is what I would do. You know, okay. Tell her to put all her clients in a helpful people box.
Why is it called helpful people box? I'm just trying to understand that.
Well, Yeah, just because it's about the saying is, oh, if I don't get it, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. That's the classic helpful people area of that Bagua is not working for you. Right here, you want this guy, you know, walk in with your bags. You don't want to take the time to do that. You want help with everything you do.
Help.
So in the front right hand area of the room or your desk or this house, it's about getting help. And if you have sluggish accounts receivable, then you can place the accounts receivable clients in your helpful people box with the request that they're always helpful to me. They pay on time consistently. I mean, if she's setting it up to have payment plans and they're paying her, I don't get what the deal is, but yeah, and maybe in her prosperity area, all the way back to the left of her office or of the house or her office building or wherever she's at, maybe it's chipped out. Maybe the building kind of comes up like this, and then it chips in, and then it chips like that, and goes like that. And maybe that area is actually outside because the building just cuts in right there. And her her prosperity gua, her prosperity area is missing. So, she could have that situation. So when you have a little chip missing in your room because of some other room on the other side of the wall is cutting in on it, and there's a pokey thing, pokey corner poking in at you, then you've got an area that is potentially not holding energy for you. So we got to work on how to complete missing pieces. And also she might have, she could have a fireplace back there, and that's like she's burning through her money, is what normal people say. I get money, but I burn through it just as fast as I make it. That would be a fireplace in this area because it's burning up your money. I could go on and on. If I could talk her, I could hear her exact words and I could nail it. Right now,
it depends on how she talks. Yeah. Well, me, I'm going to tell you, because in this business, it almost seems like you have to be an extrovert, right? To put yourself out there and have visibility and all that stuff. And I'm going to give you my example. And, I'm a shadow work coach, and a lot of people think that I'm like super extrovert, and what's asked of me is doing videos and, presentations and all that stuff. And people love how I look on video and whatever. But for me, I think that that's something that is holding me back, because I'm an introvert, even though I seem as an extrovert. I'm a very much introvert. And so in my business, people say like, oh, I've heard about you, and I've heard really, so people get to know me, but it's almost like, it's kind of like, it almost feels, somebody told me that it almost feels that I'm like, hey, what's happening? But even though like, I try not to, look, I'm doing this blab, and, I kind of find different ways. Is there anything that you would recommend that where I could embrace the fact that I am introvert, and at the same time have that, I guess, strength or fire to be okay to put myself out there, and, when I'm asked to speak a million times, I could say like, yeah, sure, I'll go speak, and then come back into my introvert. I mean, is there anything for us introverts that seem extroverts and get a lot of, extrovert requests? Oh my God, this was my long question and she's frozen.
Oh, there we are. Frozen on me. Okay, so folks are everything.
Hold on, we're having a poor connection. It says poor internal signal. Can you hear us, Karen?
Now we can't hear her. Let's see if she can get that back.
Okay.
Oh, are you there? I wanted to make sure see if we have any questions too before we're done. After your question.
Yeah, well, if you guys have a question, go ahead and ask a question.
Great. I love this topic. So good.
Oh, I love, and it gets a little bit cut off, but Karen could go on for hours, and I wanted more people to be live so they can ask the questions, but they can always go into our Facebook.
Do you want me to grab the link for that?
Yeah, the Break Room for Coaches. Sonia, if you're there, can you put the Break Room for Coaches on Facebook? And you can go in there, and you're going to have the replay for this show that I think I'm going to have to go back and watch it to remember all the stuff that she told us. And also, she has a freebie for us. She just got out. I'm going to see if she can come in again. So she has a freebie that you can get if you go to the Break Room for Coaches and go into the group, and you can get she can tell us a little bit more of what the gift that she's giving us. I'm here, but no way to log in. Can you call? Can you try to call in again?
Okay, you guys, I just posted the link to the group too. Okay,
so when people are watching live, are they able to see this that you're pinning us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because when I watched from Facebook, I didn't see the notes on the side.
Yeah. So anyway, what you guys need to do, if you're listening to this as a replay, just go into the search bar of Facebook and put in the Break Room for Coaches. And if you are a coach, we'll check out your profile. And if you are a coach, we'll let you in. And we'd love to have you in the group. And that's where you can get the goodies that our show guests are giving to us. So Karen's got a great gift. We'll make sure to post that in there. Plus the link to her book. I know I'm going to download the book on my Kindle right away. So
yeah, it's stuff to change your life. And it's translated in 7 different languages. I don't know which. I know Spanish is, but I know it's 7 different languages, and it is a best-selling book. And it is simple to read. It's funny. You can always go to her website, and she always has some fun stuff going on. You can follow her at Karen Rauch on Facebook, and moveitwithkaren.com is her website. So you're not able to come in and talk about us introverts. It's like, this is what happens. This is what happens, Karen. Free webinar there, dang. Okay, so moveitwithkaren.com. There's a free webinar that she has there. So I think we're not going to get her in. I don't know.
Well, one thing is that, if Karen joins our group, she can probably answer some questions there, that last minute questions, because we only have 5 minutes left.
Well, and also what we could do, maybe, Karen, as a special thing, I don't know if Jess can, or maybe, extra video, answering that, and maybe we can post it.
Yeah.
So I'll talk to you about it, and maybe I could do a little interview and then post it on our group. But be happy to do whatever.
Yeah. Well, I love your information, Karen. Thank you so much for being on here, and I'm definitely going to send it out in my next newsletter to my list, because I just loved what you were sharing about. You said space. This was so good. Space equals opportunity. I feel like we could do a whole show on sort of that big topic. So thank you so much for being here. And I think we definitely need to do a follow-up for this.
Yes, we could do a follow-up interview, or we could do a little video, an extra video. So you and me will find something to do with that, so you could answer this last question, and we'll ask other people if they have questions, and I'll ask you when I see you again. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Karen, for being here with us. I know you do need to do something on your bagua, or whatever it's called, on technology, because her and technology is just
me and technology is, oh my gosh. So yeah, that's like a whole nother call, right? How to deal with technology.
How to feng shui technology. That'd be awesome. So anyway, Karen, we are so happy you were with us. You know, you are one of my favorite people in the world and friends. So I know you can come back anytime and be our guest and answer questions and talk about your book that just recently came out. But I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm going to talk about this book, and we can talk about the other one when you're back. Jessica, you're awesome. What can I say?
Right back at you. So we'll be back, right? The second Monday of so it's going to be June 13th, right?
Yeah, well, today's
what? Because May is a long month.
So today's what?
Yeah.
The 23rd.
So,
the 23rd? So it's the 13th. The 13th.
So we have a little bit of time just because May is a long month, but we'll be back on the 13th. So want to thank you guys so much for being here. What an awesome topic today.
I know. I was so excited.
In our group, the break room, if you guys want to get access to everything, the break room for coaches, you can get the gifts that Karen's giving. We had some really cool gifts from our last show. We had some really cool gifts for coaches. So get into the group where you can access everything. Thank you, Sonia, for posting that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thanks for watching. I know a lot of you are watching on replay, and I know you guys are really busy. So that's why we decided to do this, because you know what? We all need a break.
Absolutely. We're so glad you guys were here hanging out with us today. We'll be back in a few weeks with another great topic. And I'll see you next time.
I'll see you next time. Bye.